Hey, what's up, OOT runners? So I'm gonna redo this tutorial for this trick. The video that I made before was for an old setup, one that is no longer good to do. So for those out of the loop, this trick will use ISG to land on top of that little slope above the door. This one right here, we're gonna stick on it. We're gonna get out of bounds through that wall, and then we're gonna side hop out of bounds and land in a lower part of collapse and make our way to the final battle loading zone with the Redead bridge. So if you're only here for the backups, then click on the timestamp link in the description. But if you want to see the whole setup, then stick around. So the first thing you need to do is get ISG, get in this corner, and roll at least 3 times in the corner. So now I guess I'll explain the values you see on the side of the screen. The first value, 462, is my x coordinate. The second one, 800, is y. The 232.367, that's the z coordinate. And then the 8192, that's Link's angle. Those are the only 4 you need to pay attention to for this trick. Just make sure that as you're doing this, every single step along the way, that yours look exactly like mine, because any variation will cause this to fail. So when you've rolled into this corner, you side hop right, backflip, side hop left, ESS left, back walk against this ledge until you stop. If you hold too long, he'll snap down off the ledge, but you have a bunch of frames before that happens. And then you backflip 1 frame, put on hover boots after you backflip on that 1 frame, and then shield a bomb chew out of Unpause leg. So now, when you're in this hover, there's something interesting to note, is that we need all hovers that go 20.7 units high. There are 2 other types of hovers, some that go 18.9 units high and some that go exactly 21 units high. We want none of those, only ones that go 20.7. And so we can influence that by what frame we backflip on after dropping a bomb chew to hover, and also which stance Link is in. Right now his feet are facing to the left. I'm going to call that left stance. If you tap ESS left while in this stance, his feet will go into right stance. And now, if you look at his shield, look at the shape of his shield right now. The next time that I press shield, it's totally different. It's like higher. And so when you are in right stance, you release shield and you press shield again, it's in that high kind of position. And so that'll change the way he interacts with the explosion during a hover. So basically what you want is to get into right stance, and that way the next time you shield, which will coincide with dropping a bomb chew, we'll have 2 frames to backflip on for each of these bomb chews. We want to backflip on either the same frame that you drop the bomb chew with R, or backflip 1 frame after you press R. And right stance allows it to be 2 frames instead of 1. So make sure you're in right stance, drop shield, pull out a bomb chew, then hold down, then press R and A together, right? And you go 20.7 units high. And then in each of these backflips, also release down before Link stops being stuck on the explosion, and he will retain right stance for each of the following hovers. So we're gonna do 9 hovers exactly like that. So that was 1. So this will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So at the end of your 9th hover, your Y coordinate should be 1001.9. And so now at this point, the 10th hover, we can't do the same thing. For whatever reason, the 10th hover will not work with that same right stance strat. So for this one, you have 2 options. You can either just pause buffer to make sure that you press A to backflip exactly 1 frame after pressing R, or you can go into left stance, and you get 2 frames, which is 1 frame after pressing R and 2 frames after pressing R you can backflip on. So it makes it easy to do unbuffered if you go into left stance. So this time you want to delay the A press by 1 or 2 frames. And then for this next one, same thing as the last one, or you can go into right stance and do the first way, either one. So at the top of your hover, 11 hovers, that's what you need to stop on. You have a Y coordinate of 1043.3. So So you want to pause and equip your Kokiri boots, and then side hop to the right, and you will stick on the seam. And something I want to call attention to is Link's right foot right now. See how it's like picked up and stepped on top of the slope? That means that this is gonna work. That means that you did good. And I will explain visual cues for how to tell it's gonna fail after this. So if your foot looks like this, then you're good to go, and you can do the following setup to clip out of bounds. You're just gonna equip your iron boots, side hop right one time and hold right, or side hop right, release target and hold right the whole time. And you will clip out of bounds. From here, ESS left, ESS up 2. If you go too far, you'll see Link's shield poking out a lot. That's one too far. One less than that. And then with your iron boots still on, you have then 3 frames after this side hop that we're gonna do to jump slash on. And you probably want to pause and equip. You're gonna pause and equip Kokiri boots on any one of those frames. So the frames are 9, 10, and 11 after the side hop. So I'm gonna use frame advance to show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the first frame that we can pause and equip Kokiri boots on. 10 is the second frame, and then 11 is the third frame. And then after this, it won't work. So you want to pause and equip the Kokiri boots, and then out of unpause lag, hold forward and press B to jump slash. And if you do that on any one of those frames, you will fall out of bounds, and we can see where we are if we use the collision viewer. So you can either Hess down that spiral staircase, or you can do just regular movement. A good movement setup is to roll forward, do 2 side hops to the left, do 5 rolls, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then side hop right a few times down the stairs, back walk, and then side hop right when he stops moving. And then you'll be in there. Alright, so I'm back at the 9th hover. Right before you need to switch stances. And so it's at this point that you might make a mistake, and you might get a hover that goes 18.9 units high instead of 20.7. And you're not going to be able to tell when you're in the hover itself, because the difference is so small that there's no visual cue that you can use that's going to be able to tell you explicitly. So whatever hover you get, there are backups on once you side hop onto the seam of the door frame. So I'm going to explain those now. Okay, so 1041.5 is wrong as a y coordinate. It should be 1043 point something. And so this means that you did one hover that was 18.9 units high instead of 20.7. And this is going to fail. But you don't know it yet until you side up onto the seam. So I'm going to use frame advance here. And if you remember Link's right foot being stuck, being like up on the slope, you'll notice now that it's clipped through the slope. So this is your cue to tell you that you are wrong. This is going to fail if you do the same clip out of bounds setup as before. But there's actually 2 ways for Link's foot to look like this. So the way to tell which one you have now is to look at the white texture that's just to the right of where his mirror shield clips out of bounds. It's got some width to it, and you'll see in the next backup setup that I'm going to show you, it's very, very thin. So if you see like a lot of the white texture on to the right of his shield, then you know that you have this middle height one at 1041 that you side up from. And so to save this one, what you're going to do is you're going to side hop right and untarget. Then you're going to do 2 ESS turns to the right, 1, 2, side hop again and untarget, 2 ESS turns to the left, and then do 9 side hops to the right, and on the 9th one, release target and hold right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then on the 9th one, release target and hold right. and now we're out of bounds. And then the same thing as before, hold ESS left up 2 frames, not 3 though, because you can see the shield, just 2. And now the jump slash frames are a little bit different on this one. Instead of frames 9, 10, and 11, we're now using frames 11, 12, or 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is the first frame, this is the second frame, and this is the third frame. It's still 3 frames, it's just offset because Link is further back on the seam. So you need to wait for him to go further to the right before jump slashing. And also equip Kokiri Boots on the same jump slash frame. So that was the third frame that you could use. The 2 before that also work. Alright, so we're back at the top of the 11th hover with the 1041 height again, same as last time. It's wrong. It's 1 failed hover that went 18.9 units high instead of 20.7 units high. But, of course, you don't know it's wrong yet, because you can't tell until the hover gets on the seam. So we're going to side hop right. We notice that Link's foot is clipped into the slope, so we know it's wrong. And we see that we can see a lot of that white texture to the right of Link's shield. And so we know it's the 1041 problem. And so last time I gave you a setup where there was a bunch of S-turns involved, and there's one that involves no S-turns, but it's slower. But I'm presenting this as an alternative if you want to be kind of safe about it. And you literally just side hop to the right 24 times. And on the 24th one, or the 26th one actually, if you overshoot it for some reason, you release target and hold right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, and 24. And there we go. And then once we're out of bounds with this one, we want to side hop on either the 10th, 11th, or 12th frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I meant jump slash on the 10th, 11th, or 12th. So this is the first one that you can jump slash on. This is the second one. And then this is the third and final one. Equip the Kokiri Boots, hold forward and jump slash. There you go. Alright, so now I'm at the top of the 11th hover, and the 10th and 11th hovers were both wrong this time. They both gave me 18.9 unit hovers instead of 20.7, so I'm even lower than I was before. My Y coordinate is now 1039 as opposed to 1041 like it was last time, or 1043 when it's correct. And so this one, we're going to do the same thing. You don't know it's wrong yet, because everything looks the same when you're in the hover. So you side hop right, and then you're going to look at Link's right foot again, and you'll notice that it's clipped into the slope. It's not up on the slope, so you know you're wrong. But we still don't know how to differentiate it from the 1041 incorrect one. So right now you know you're wrong, but you don't know which one you have yet. So now as this camera pans up, you look at where the shield intersects with the wall, and you see that the white texture that's to the right of the shield is extremely thin. There's like one tiny line that you can see. And so that's how you differentiate it from the one that we had previously. And so you know you have the 1039 version here. And so to fix this one, what you're going to do is side hop right twice, and on the second one, you're going to release target and hold right. And then hold right for as long as it takes for the camera to completely settle. Now it looks like we're out of bounds here, but we are not. So we still need to fix something. So once you're here, ESS up, and then ESS left 1 frame. And then we're going to side hop 3 more times to the right, and release target on and hold right on the third one, and it should work. 1, 2, 3. And now we're properly out of bounds. So same as before, ESS left, up 2, not 3, or else you can see too much of his shield, just 2. And then, so the frames for this one are frames 10, 11, and 12 on the side hop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the first frame, 11 is the second frame, and 12 is the third frame. So equip Kokiri Boots, hold forward and jump slash. And that's it. Those are all your backup setups. And so with all these different setups, it might be very confusing to keep straight when you need to side hop and jump slash, because they can be on different frame counts and everything, but there's a commonality between all of them, and that is when the out of bounds area comes into view on the right side of the screen. Basically, the first frame that you can see it in any one of the setups is going to be the first frame you can jump slash, and then the following 2 frames is going to be when you jump slash after that. And so this image shows you all the different frames for the different backups and the different side hop jump slashes you can do. And you can see that on the left, the first frame for each of them is the first frame that the out of bounds area comes into view, and then the out of bounds area grows over the following 2 frames. And so that's going to be an easy way to tell when you need to jump slash, because otherwise it's going to be impossible to keep straight all the frame counts.